Yeah, so hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. Guys, I have finally made it. I've been trying to get to this point all day long. Guys, I hope you can hear me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I'm gonna go ahead and say clocking into TikTok. I can't wait till I get to the point where when I, go live, not only will I be going live on TikTok, but I'll also be on live on YouTube as well. And of course, I want to expand and expand and, go live on other platforms as well. But anyhow, that's in time. It's coming. But guys, I have been trying to get to this point all day long. Now, am I saying that I've been trying to get to the night all day long? Not necessarily. I've just been wanting to get to this point where I would have the time to settle down and make a video. And guys, I had started making a video. I went live last night, and the topic, the idea, what the reason why I went live last night, guys, it was Friday the 13th, and being that I am into spirituality, of course, my channel is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. And with that being said, the law of attraction, deals with spirituality. Um, if this live has popped up in your before you in your for you page, the algorithm has sent this live to you, um, then you are into spirituality. You're most likely into spirituality and the law of attraction, something like that, right? Maybe a little bit of witchy things, something like that, that kind of idea. Then you know that there most people when they think about Friday the 13th, they think about, you know, the whole idea of fear and, of course, Hollywood and, it's kind of put out there like it's a day to fear and where you have to, you know, you could trip on a banana peel. I don't know. It could be something like that, or it could be more dramatic. Like, I won't even go into the things that, pop up in your mind, could possibly pop up in your mind that could go wrong on Friday the 13th. Or if you are watching this video or you're tuned into this live, then most likely you know about the idea of that really this is Friday the 13th originally was it was supposed to be the original idea. It was supposed to be a very lucky day. And I'm going to be reading more information about that from my notes. But basically, I just wanted to start out and let you know that I went live yesterday, and my live was all about Friday the 13th. I called it, I believe, a Friday the 13th hangout. And anyhow, I didn't get to read all the information. I put a pretty good amount of work into my notes and things that I had for my Friday the 13th live. And it just so happened that I didn't get to finish the live. So now I got to explain what else happened. Maybe this is a kind of Friday the 13th energy because I had all these notes and everything together and, dealing with technology and everything like that. It happened once again, and I don't know if it has something to do with Mercury retrograde, or maybe some people might say, oh, well, maybe it had something to do with Friday the 13th. I don't know. But a lot of the notes, everything was, organized in a form and a fashion, the way that I wanted it to be, set up or whatever. And a lot of the notes, it got lost. Now, I don't know if that had something to do with Mercury retrograde, because they say when Mercury is in retrograde, and I'm thinking, I think we're still in Mercury retrograde. When Mercury is in retrograde, it's the planet of communication, and communication can, you're thinking about technology and different things like that. If you don't back things up, or things could just get all twisted up and wired around, I guess, in the wrong way. I'm just thinking about old-fashioned telephone cord, like being like all jumbled and tangled up and everything like that, like an old-fashioned telephone cord. But anyhow, so basically really what happened was a lot of my notes that I had that I wanted to read from for Friday the 13th. I didn't get to finish the video yesterday, so I wanted to come back and finish that video today. And at a, what happened was the notes got lost. So today I went and I looked up some things and put together a little something because, oh, I had it together really, really well, guys. And so I just, whatever was left, whatever I could find, basically that's what I'm going to be bringing to you. And I have a way that I'm going to bring it to you. Basically, guys, today, since it's the day after Friday the 13th, I just want to remind you that even though it's put out there that it's such a bad day, well, or a bad night, really, guys, we made it to the morning light. That was my idea. We made it to the morning light. So the last video, the last live that I made, the scene that I had set up, for, the picture or whatever, it doesn't look scary or anything like that. If you watched the live last night, it definitely didn't look scary, and I didn't want it to look scary. That obviously that's not my idea, but that picture, it's just darker and all that, and it looks like nighttime, at a lake. Because, guys, when it comes to, I'm a little bit, guys, I've been trying to get to this all day, right? So I'm talking fast and all that. And again, I don't live alone, so, I have to wrap this up in, a certain amount of time. I can't be on forever. So I kind of feel rushed in a way, but it's just the idea that I had said in the live last night that I was going to come up. I was going to go ahead and come back and wrap up the video. So I wanted to keep my word and do that. Right. So just kind of bear with me or whatever. And I'm just going to look at it as anybody that's joining me tonight. I kind of feel like you're really just really coming to hang out with me, because obviously Friday the 13th is over with. But being that if you've watched any of my other videos, I always try to do things in a different kind of way. And I am a Gemini. So I kind of I look at myself as pretty creative. So I feel like I put a creative spin on an idea that could be regular. If that's what I'll say. But guys, what you're looking, if you tuned into the live last night, that picture was more, I think it was beautiful and everything, but it was just a nighttime scene. Where what I'm trying to focus on today, I want to talk about, some of the same information that I was talking about last night, but at the same time, I want to make it look like we've made it through Friday the 13th and we've made it to the morning. So was Friday the 13th really that bad? Like, it's put out there, the idea is kind of put out there like it's such a bad, day and bad luck and all that, but hey, we made it. So was it really that bad? And I'm just going to be talking about the feminine aspects of it. Okay. And if you're into spirituality and all that, then you have a little bit of an idea of what I'm going to be talking about, right? So, let me get my notes here. So guys, I want to kind of explain what you're looking at right now. Now, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. And with that being said, if you've watched any of my other videos, then you know that I don't appear in my videos. You see my avatar, and my avatar is basically, it's a picture of my silhouette. So, you really don't know what I look like. You just know, you see my silhouette. And what else can I say about this? You see my silhouette, you hear the sound of my voice and all that, but you don't know what I look like. And the whole idea with that is, at one point when I started making my videos, I want to hurry up and break this down because I want to get into the video. Basically, when I came up with the name of my channel and everything like that, I started making videos, and I knew that I wasn't going to appear in my videos, and I started making my videos, and, there's the sound of my voice and everything. And at one point, as I had maybe made a couple of videos, um, and for whatever reason, just the name Shadow Girl came to my mind. So I started just saying this is Shadow Girl. And then after a while, I just added my first name, which is Sherry, and I became Shadow Girl Sherry. And as I kept, calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry, the algorithm, I guess, kind of picked up on, this idea. And the next thing I know, things started popping up in my algorithm, like on my For You page. And one person, like, her videos kept showing up. And I don't know if you've heard of Shira7. Shira7's videos. I just kept noticing, noticing videos by Shira7. And I was passing by them for a while, and then I started to notice the pattern. Like, I keep seeing this face. So finally I started watching, a couple of her videos, and I found out about shadow work and the idea that here I'm calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry. So that is part of the reason why her videos started, popping up in my feed. And, it wasn't just her, but it was other videos about shadow work and, all that. And I watched the videos and, about shadow work and everything, and it made sense to me. It's just like, okay, if I called my own self Shadow Girl Sherry, and I didn't even know what shadow work was. So what does this tell you? I need to do some shadow work. So with that being said, if you're watching this video right now, you are listening to the sound of a voice of someone that goes by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. So I'm making this suggestion that that might mean that maybe that could possibly mean that maybe you need to do shadow work as well. I'm just going to kind of make that suggestion for you, to you, suggest it. The power of suggestion. But anyhow, guys, so with that being said, I don't appear in my videos. So lately, of course, you see, my silhouette and as my avatar, and in some of my videos, I would lay instead of I myself showing up in my videos, you would hear the sound of my voice, but then I would set up a scene like, whatever subject matter I was talking about, I would just go and find things of my own, belongings or whatever, and put those in the video as, whatever the subject matter was. I would just put things in whatever the subject matter was. I would find items that had, put you in mind of that, and I would make up a scene. And, that would be the setting. That would be the setting. And, but again, I'm Shadow Girl Sherry, so I would never show up, but my things would kind of show up for me. So with that being said, that was a way that I I handled things for a while. And then I got to the point where I feel like I upgraded, and I started working with, it's actually on my phone. I make my videos from my phone. And with my phone, I have Gemini, and I'm a Gemini. So I think that's so funny. I Shadow Girl myself, I am a Gemini. And in my phone, I have Gemini. And I tell Gemini, we work together and we come up with the scene and the setting for my videos. So what you're looking at now, I've gotten to the point now where I'm trying to kind of come out and kind of show a little bit, give you an idea of, well, I can't say that I really look like the lady in this picture here, but I am African American. So lately I've been finding myself just, putting like it's not like necessarily a person that, it's just a made up person, right? That AI and stuff can, you could be following somebody, and it wouldn't even have to be a real person now. It could be just a made up avatar, and you wouldn't even know it. So basically, what you're looking at, it's not like a real person. And I know you get what I mean. It's not a real person. But that being that I'm African American, this is an African American woman. This is basically an avatar that's standing in for me right now. Last night when I made my video, it was another avatar basically, and not someone that I know or anything like that. It was just a made up person, and but that person or that image was standing in for me. So I've been doing that here and there where I've just, been, I've had someone, and that's kind of like my mask really. Instead of laying a mask out or something like that, or not showing up at all, the mask is just a different, like, made up avatar. So that's my mask right now. And a lot of times, like last night, the avatar or whatever that was showing up for me, her face was covered, so she was veiled and everything. And now today I've got another avatar, and I hope that's what it's called. I've got another avatar, and not only is that the mask, but her hair is in her face, so you can't see her face. So it's kind of like a mask. So I just wanted to let you know that idea, that's what you're looking at. And the idea is, now this is the morning after Friday the 13th. And guys, did anything really bad happen? Like, if you're here in the chat, I can't see how many people are, are watching, have joined my live or whatever. It was the same way last night. I was kind of thinking that nobody had joined my live, and then I had a little bit of an interruption, and I stopped the live for a little bit, and I actually saw that there were people that had joined into the live, but for whatever reason, I couldn't see how many. I couldn't see, the names or whatever. But when I got off for a little bit, I could see that there were people that, they had joined the live. So right now I can't see, maybe I'm kind of talking to myself, I don't know, or whatever, but I can't really see how many people are on, or if there's anyone on at all. And either way, I'm going to talk anyway, because I want to make this live, and then later on, this live in its entirety will be over on my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is called Sunset Songs. That's the name of my channel altogether. And so you would find this whole video in its entirety, just like all the other lives I've completed. They are on over on my channel, Sunset Songs on YouTube. Now, and I would do the same thing here on TikTok, but obviously, when you go live on TikTok, if you go over an hour, so if this video, if I don't go over an hour, then I'll put the video up in its entirety. But if you are here on TikTok, you go live and the video goes over an hour, your live goes over an hour, then, you have to post clips. You can't put the whole video up, because I guess TikTok is all about, hey, ticking and talking, and hurry up and, say what you got to say and TikTok and get it done. But being that I'm Shadow Girl Sherry and I am a Gemini, I usually don't, okay, I just seen a name, Vanilla Ice. I just seen the name Vanilla Ice. Maybe I'll have to make a song by Vanilla Ice, Sunset Song, one of these times. But anyhow, so basically I've explained all that, but now I'm going to let you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, and I just said Vanilla Ice, if you've watched any of my other videos, then obviously my channel is called Sunset Songs. With that being said, my channel is also, I'll go ahead and say, it's about my personal journey with the law of attraction, where I'm basically trying to take you by the hand and have you go on the journey with me, and we're doing this thing together. Okay, what's the law of attraction? The law of attraction is the idea that like attracts like, through your positive thoughts, actions, the type of people you're hanging out with, whether they be, it's all about negative and positive. If you're doing positive things, you're hanging out with positive people, you're taking positive actions towards your goals, then you would be attracting the positive back into your life. On the other hand, if you are doing negative things, speaking negative words, singing negative songs, anything like that. The negative stuff, it attracts more negative activity back into your life. So, okay, so I've explained that. Okay, and then, of course, my channel is called Sunset Songs. Why is it called Sunset Songs? Obviously, I've got those elements of nature because I've got the sun and I've said sunset. So that's light and dark there. So that's, kind of including the elements and that kind of thing, the sunlight, and then, the moonlight coming in and all that. But my channel's called Sunset Songs, and there's that idea of songs. The idea with songs is, guys, I love music, and I think a lot of people, we like music for the most part, right? So basically, I really believe that music has a way, and it can make you feel some type of way. If you want to be in an upbeat mood, maybe you're cleaning your house or whatever, then you might want to listen to something that's got an upbeat like tempo to it. But on, the other hand, if you want to listen to a slow, soft love song because you're in that type of mood, then you can do that as well. If you want to chill and relax, you can listen to something that's soft and relaxing. And even if you, want to listen to like a sad love song or a sad song because maybe somebody just broke up with you or something like that, or maybe you're about to break up with somebody and maybe you're just a little bit sad about it, but you know that it's time to move on. Is it right for you? Then maybe you want to listen to a sad love song, right? But it's all about the way you want to feel. And, music can just help with that mood, like whatever way you're trying to feel. So with that being said, I love music and all that. And every time I go live or I make a video, I try to come up with something that I call a sunset song. Now, what is a sunset song? Sunset song is basically, I tell my higher self, whatever, my spirit guides, whatever, give me a song, put a song on my mind or in my heart, play a song in my mind, play a song in my heart, put a song on my heart that is tailored around whatever the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about in that episode, for my channel, Sunset Songs. Have it tailored around that subject matter. And then that is the sunset song. And then I'm going to basically work with that song, weave it into the idea of the subject matter, whatever I'm talking about. Then I'm going to share information about the song as well. Maybe, a little bit of information about the artist, the inspiration, how did they come up with the song, that kind of idea. So with that being said, I'm going to read from my notes, and I've already said what the subject matter is. Basically, I'm transitioning from last night. It was, last night, yesterday, all day yesterday. And then, of course, putting the emphasis on the nighttime, because, fear and all that. It was Friday the 13th. But now I'm transitioning into Saturday, March the 14th. So guys, basically we made it through the night of Friday the 13th. And really the idea is, was it really all that bad? Like, anybody here in the chat, like, did you have a good day yesterday, or did you have, unexpected things that, they weren't positive things, or did anything like crazy or out of the ordinary, anything that was really, really bad happen to you yesterday on Friday the 13th? Or did everything just run smoothly and everything's all good? Because for me, everything was okay. There was no bloodshed or anything like that, and whatever. So we transitioned from that night into this brand new day. And that's the idea, the picture that you're looking at right now. Now, when it comes to Friday the 13th, obviously there is a name that you think of, and that would be Jason Voorhees. Okay. Because he was the basically the monster, I'll say, in Friday the 13th. He's the one that's, in the mom, I think. It's been a while since I've actually watched any of the, Friday the 13th movies. And at some point I want to watch them. And then maybe when we have our next Friday the 13th, I can work from that angle. And I'll go ahead and say that we had a Friday the 13th, yesterday, 1 month ago from yesterday, we had a Friday the 13th. And then now yesterday, we had another Friday the 13th. So that's a double whammy. And that is already 2 Friday the 13ths that we have had in this year of 2026. And we have a third one that is going to be on Friday, November 13th of this year of 2026. So we're going to have 3. So that's just, and you got to think about the number 3. And, in the book, The Secret, that's one of the first books I read when I really got deep into the law of attraction. That's where I learned that 3 is the number of creation. Okay. So I won't, it's just a number of creation. You think about it, down through the line. Okay. Let's think about the number 3. In The Wizard of Oz, I think Dorothy had to say, did she have to click her heels or say, there's no place like home 3 times, something like that? That's been a while since I've watched that movie as well. Okay, when it comes to the movie Beetlejuice, okay, you had to say Beetlejuice 3 times, okay, and then he would appear. Okay, then you kind of think about that idea. Have you ever heard that saying, speak of the devil, and he will appear? Okay, now nobody said 3 times, but it just makes me think of that saying, speak of the devil, right? Or if you see somebody and you've been talking about them lately, and then all of a sudden, like maybe you're at work and then everybody's talking about this person or whatever, and all of a sudden they come in the room and it's like, oh, speak of the devil, like here you are. So nobody said anything about the number 3, but you get what I'm saying. But in several instances, like, okay, 3 is a charm. There's that number 3 is a charm. Okay. Even if you think about, I'll quickly say that even though I'm into like witchy things, the law of attraction, all that, I've already said in all, a lot of my videos that I do believe in God. So think about this. The Father, the Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity. Again, that's the number 3. So there we go. 3 is the number of creation. Okay. So, I wanted to give you that idea there, because I was talking about, the idea that we are in this year, we've already had 2 Friday the 13th, and now we're going to have a third one in November, closer, to the end of the year. Okay. So, but my idea is, basically, again, if you're into the spiritual community and all that, then you probably have that idea that, Friday the 13th, it really didn't originate. The original idea wasn't about fear. It wasn't about fear, like Hollywood and different things took it over and rewrote the narrative. They added that story to it and changed the story. But here in my notes, I'm going to give you a bit of a different spin on that story. Okay. And, basically, you're looking at this picture, even last night, the picture that I had, for my live last night, it was a beautiful picture. It was an African American woman, which that stood for me. And she was veiled. She was in a black outfit. Her face was veiled and everything, but you could make out what her face looked like. The idea was to make her look mysterious. Okay. And, she was, standing, kind of bent over the lake of crystals. And she had picked some of the crystals up. I believe she had a jet, or it was a black crystal. So that could have been, and I'm going to say it was a jet because I'm going to explain why. You're going to know later on why I'm going to say that it's a jet instead of, it could have been a black obsidian. It could have been like, a black obsidian, what other, onyx, something like that. But I'm going to say it was a jet. Okay. And as I read my notes and everything, and I even mentioned it last night, but if you didn't tune into the live last night, I'll let you know what's going on, in my notes tonight. I'll go back over it. So, so she had in her hand, she had picked up from the lake of crystals, a jet. and then she had I believe maybe an amethyst and a ruby, something like that. Maybe it was a red stone, so it could have been a ruby, or it could have been a garnet, something like that. A red, what is it? Is there a red tiger's eye? Okay, maybe a bloodstone, something like that. Okay, and bloodstone would be a really good idea because obviously you think about Friday the 13th, the idea that, I'll say Hollywood tries to put out there is the idea of blood and gore. And, somebody, I don't know, has been killed, and obviously with death and being killed, there's blood a lot of times, right? But my idea is, I would even say like a different type of blood, but it would be the blood of life, because that's what women have every month. Okay, and it's, you know, I'll read all about, not necessarily about that, but just the idea of feminine energy, the feminine aspect of Friday the 13th. All that's going to be in my notes. But last night, the picture I've just explained, and then you could, of course, go and look at the video yourself. But, I try to make it look as beautiful as possible. And the idea in it was, instead of having in the movies, the Friday the 13th movies, the place where, everything was going down, the scene or the setting for Friday the 13th, was a campground. It was, campgrounds and, teenagers and all that. And, the camp, or the camp was called Camp, I think it was Camp Crystal Lake. So the lake was called Crystal Lake, but I think altogether it was Camp Crystal Lake. But the scene was like camping grounds and a lake, and the lake was called Crystal Lake. So I figured I couldn't use that, I couldn't use just take Crystal Lake. So I turned it around and I turned it into my lake, and it's a lake of crystals. I turned it into my idea was to turn it into a lake of crystals. That's the name of my lake, a lake of crystals. And my idea is basically, would you fear going, I mean, not thinking about like Friday the 13th and, that the bad idea of it, but what if on a Friday the 13th, you could actually go to a lake, and it was called the Lake of Crystals. And there's all these different, like if you're into crystals, you're into crystal healing and all that. Like, wouldn't it be like awesome to go to a place called Lake of Crystals, even if you went on Friday the 13th? Because there would be all the energy around you would be positive energy. You're looking at this right now, and it's not as, colorful as the ones like last night's Crystal Lake. And previously, this is my idea for, it's going to be a bit of a ritual or tradition when it comes to my channel for Friday the 13th. There's a crystal, or there's a lake, and it's called Lake of Crystals. That's going to stand in for Crystal Lake. My idea on my channel is the negative, aspect, Hollywood and all that. And not to say that I don't like, those movies and scary movies and all that, right? So I like the movies, but at the same time, if that were real, I wouldn't like it. Like if I was really at a place, Crystal Lake, and these things, and I'm having to hide from Jason Voorhees, I wouldn't like it. But being able to watch it from a screen is okay, and have your popcorn and all that different stuff, that's fine. But I wouldn't want to be there, right? So the idea is that's negative, but I've turned it into a positive, and I've turned it into a lake of crystals. And if you could go on a Friday the 13th or any other day, to a place called Lake of Crystals, and you could just go walking around on these grounds, and you're in the grass, you're going to find a piece of rose quartz, or a piece of, an amethyst crystal, or a citrine, or, I mean, think about all the crystals that there are. Like, what if there were every crystal known to man on this land? and within this lake. Like, wouldn't you love to go and swim in that lake? Like, there, that would be a lot of energy, positive, healing energy. Even if it comes to the negative aspect of it, you know, the when you think about the darker crystals, like the black crystals, they would have a healing energy as well. Like, and it's all positive because the idea of, you know, the black crystals, usually they are for protection. So, and I'm even thinking about the little black cat that you see in the corner here. I have a black cat, just like last night in the video, I had a black cat. And my idea is they try to put it out there as like black cats are bad and evil and all that. But, you know, black cats are beautiful. It's like a little panther. And even when you see a black cat, it's said that really it's about magnetism. You're you know, you are magnetic. You're in your power when you see a black cat. Like, that's the idea. Like, I mean, look it up. Like, don't look for the negative. Um, the black is the color of protection, and just like the black crystals are for protection, then when you just think of that cat as kind of being like a walking onyx, or a walking living, breathing onyx or jet or black obsidian. Like, just kind of look at it that way. That if you are into like candle magic and things like that, when you're doing that kind of stuff, when you're working with black candles, you're using those black candles for protection. So look at that. Look at a black cat. I want to change the idea or the story behind a black cat. And I kind of feel like mostly if you're watching this video, you don't feel bad. You don't feel some negative sense when it comes to a black cat. Like, they're beautiful, and just think about protection, because there's going to be some people. I mean, I think that idea really is dying away. Okay, it's dying away, and that's a positive death there. That when you see a black cat, you have to be scared. Come on now, it's just a cat. Like, what's the cat going to do to you? Okay, you should be more scared of people running around here. Like, maybe there's not a Jason Voorhees, but you know, there's people by different names that, you know, you don't know everything about them, and you don't know what they're going to do from one minute to the next. You don't know everybody. So don't hate the black cat. You know, I just want to give you that idea, and just think about the black cat as kind of like protection, right? Just think about it. Like, there would be some people that maybe they wouldn't harm the cat. And I'm going to put it out there that nobody harms a black cat or any cat. But there would be some that would be skeptical. Like, if you owned a black cat, they may not want to come around you. But I really think that idea is really dying away. I think that's old stuff. Like, that is dying away. Like, I think people are smarter now. They don't believe that. Okay, but I just want to put the idea, instead, when you see a black cat, just think about healing, think about protection. Okay, just think of it, look at it that way. Like, that's like a walking onyx, or a walking black obsidian, or a living, breathing I don't know, a living, breathing jet, or a living, breathing onyx, a living, breathing uh obsidian. You know, just look at it that way. So anyhow, guys, but the whole idea is to change that story around. Like, there's Crystal Lake, and then there's my idea of the Lake of Crystals. And I want you to, if you could leave it here in the chat, or on any of my videos where I'm talking about the Lake of Crystals or Friday the 13th, if you could leave a crystal that you are working with, or a favorite crystal, or even a crystal you want to, go the next time you go to the metaphysical store or whatever like that, this is the crystal you want to purchase, then leave it in the comments, and you could tell me why or whatever. But just leave it in the comments. And just think about that. Like, if you could, even on a Friday the 13th, if you could go to a lake of crystals and just start, putting your hands down and picking up random crystals, I don't know if you, and right guys, right now it's 11:11. So I want you to think about something. I always say, just think about something that you're trying to manifest. Maybe put your hand on your heart, whatever you want to do. Just think about it, and think about it through the law of attraction, as in, don't say, oh, I wish. Look at it as it's already yours, and kind of have that feeling. Like, how would you feel if this manifestation were right in front of you? What if you had this person that you're the love of your life, and you had this person to have and to hold for the rest of your life? Like, it's this person's, you're holding their hand right now to have and to hold. How would you feel? You would be overjoyed. Okay. If you had that card, that your dream card, how would you feel? You would feel amazing. You'd want to go get in that car and drive, and you know what I'm saying? So just feel it as if it's already yours, and just say thank you. So, but anyhow, and think about if you were holding one of these crystals in your hand as you're feeling, you're thinking about your manifestation. You're holding the energy of a rose quartz while you're thinking about love, or you get what I'm saying? So basically, that's what you're looking at right now. And the woman is standing in for me. She stands for me, and she is my mask, because I don't look exactly like her. I am African American, she's African American, but that's not me. But she's not a real person, she's just made up, fictitious, whatever. But she's standing in for me. She is my mask. And Jason Voorhees, if you're familiar with Friday the 13th, obviously he wore was it he wore a mask. I think it was was it a hockey or ski mask? Anyhow, it's been a while. But guys, I'm going to start reading from my notes, because I want to wrap this video up tonight, right? So first I'm going to tell you what the Sunset Song is. The Sunset Song, just like it was last night, is a song by Jill Scott. Okay, and the song is Can't Wait. And the reason why I picked this song is because there's a part in the song where she says that she is, she's a hard-working woman, and the idea is she's saying, I can't wait to get home, and she's saying, I can't wait to get next to her love, like her mate or her lover, okay? The person that she's seeing, her love interest. And she's saying she's pulling her hard day at work, but she can't wait to get home, get off, and go and see him and spend time with him, like have a romantic, session with him or whatever, and, have him, and have him and hold him, right? After this long, hard day at work, and handling her business and doing what she got to do, being a boss lady. And at one point she comes out and she says, I've been staring monsters in their face with grace. And she's moving at a fast pace or whatever like that, and she's staring monsters in their face with grace. So basically that could be, it's not a literal real monster like Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger. She's talking about, demons. Like it could be her own personal demons, like, that she's dealing with, or it could just be the obstacle courses in life. Like, I don't know, the things that she's dealing with on her job. Okay. But she's handling it with grace. But I kind of looked at it as, okay, she did say monsters. So I thought, okay, that's going to be the Sunset Song. It was just a song that popped up in my mind. So anyhow, guys, I'm going to just read from my notes, and, I feel like I've got some pretty interesting information about Jill Scott, and just about Friday the 13th and all that, and trying to put a positive spin on it. Okay. So anyhow, let me kind of read through these notes, because, it's a little jumbled, but I think I can put it together. Okay. And guys, I got to drink some water. I have to have my water near me. My throat gets dry. I don't mean to sound rude when I'm drinking water like that, but the only way that I'm going to be able to continue talking is to wet my throat. So guys, anyhow, again, if you can leave a favorite crystal or whatever, and I'm going to be talking about a crystal here in this video, and it's so funny, the synchronicity that I was thinking of, Crystal Lake and then a lake of crystals. And then you're going to know what I'm talking about as I read from my notes, because I had a funny synchronicity, and it always works out that way. When I start looking into like doing, I'm going to say a little bit of a background check on the artist, or like a investigation, or again, I'll say like a background check, or just look up information about the artist, and maybe their birth date or whatever like that, and just information about just the song and everything like that. And there's always something that stands out about it, and it's like, wow, like it's crazy that I'm going to be able to put this in my video. Like, it's crazy that it's connected like this. So with that being said, I'm going to start pulling from my notes. Maybe not reading every little thing, because it's 11:17 at night right now. So, guys, some of you guys might want to get up and go to church in the morning. I don't want to stop that. So, I don't want to stop that. Again, when it comes to the law of attraction, some people look at it as witchcraft, but to make you feel more comfortable, I'm going to say, which way do you want to go? Do you choose to wake up in the morning and choose to think about what positive things could happen to you in this day, and the idea, like the blessing, the idea that you woke up? There's some people that, they didn't make it to see this brand new day, like Friday the 13th, whatever, and we're not even going to look at it that way. But maybe, there were people that didn't make it to Saturday the Saturday the 14th. Okay. There were people that didn't make it to Thursday they didn't make it to Thursday the 12th. Okay. They didn't make it to Thursday the 12th. So you get what I'm saying. So do you choose to look at life as, okay, I'm going to walk down this magical path and think what good could come my way? Or are you getting up in the morning and like, oh my God, like here I go again. Like what's going to go on at work today? And I know we don't everything isn't always peaches and cream. We don't, some of us, we go on jobs that we don't like, but the idea is it wouldn't have to stay that way. You could go on that job on Monday morning and wind up, finding out that you're going to make more money. Like, you get what I'm saying? But my idea is, which way do you want to go? But I've got to be honest and say that, I've always been into witchy things, but at the same time, and, I experiment with like the elements of nature, herbs. I love flowers, all that different stuff. I love crystals. I love tarot cards, all that different stuff. But at the same time, I do believe in God. But I also try to believe in my divinity, like my divine connection with God, like my oneness. Okay. And my oneness with his universe as well. So I'll put it that way. And I also say that, let you know that I love to pray. Like, I find it so relaxing to pray and say affirmations and pray and go in between the two, and, and just to know that there's something that it made up, there's an energy that, I don't know, that's so magnificent. Like, it's just a comforting thing to know. And I like to pray, and you get what I'm saying. So anyhow, so let me jump into this. Pull together these notes. Okay. So again, this song is by Jill Scott. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, Jill Scott, the artist and the journey. Okay, album analysis. So, Jill Scott's album Woman was released in 2015. Okay, and it's kind of like, it's like a journal for her. Like the words, the songs are like a journal, and to me, and she's telling her journey, and it's like in that way, because she's telling her journey and all that, and she's, it's more mature. Like, this album is called Woman, so it's more mature and all that. And she's sharing her journey, and that journey is somewhat a journal. Okay. And I like that idea, because I look at my videos that I lives and videos and things that I make, I look at it as a journal. But when I share this stuff, it's like you guys are helping me because I don't have to go and write everything down like in a closed up book or diary or journal or anything like that. If I so choose to, that's fine. But I don't have to. I could just come on here, and if I've had an experience, I can just turn this into my channel or that episode basically into a turn it into a journal or a diary entry through my words. And later on, like in, I don't know, 5 months or so or whatever, I can just come back and watch the video and basically I've read my diary. And I want to thank you guys because you all make that possible. You all make that possible. Okay. So I want to thank you so much. But I am the type where I still enjoy writing and journaling and things like that. I just don't have to do it as often. Like growing up, that was something that I really enjoyed doing. Okay. So anyhow, so her album Woman was released in 2015. Basically, it's reflecting a more mature, grounded, like her evolution. The cover art symbolizes this raw exploration of womanhood, like balancing vulnerability with strength. If you look up the album cover, she just, to me, it looks serious, and it looks, I don't know, like somebody that's very, very strong, and somebody really is, she's facing things like she's a boss lady. And it almost looks like, I don't know, I think there's white, like she has like a white line, don't quote me, I could be wrong, on her lip. I didn't even look to see what that stood for or anything. It almost looks like somebody that's just prepared for war. And I'm not saying war like go out and, like a real war, but it just looks like somebody that is facing the day, like whatever's coming, I'm ready for you. whatever this day has got for me, I'm ready. Okay. And the song I Can't Wait is about her going into her workday, but then she's saying she's the boss lady and everything like that, but she can't wait to get home to her mate and take care of him too. So it's kind of like they're going to get together, and it seems like there's going to be a bit of a war going on. So, and if you look at the album cover, you know what I'm talking about. So, anyhow, let me continue with my notes here. Okay. Okay, so the song is called I Can't Wait. But guys, it's funny because she also has another song called Lighthouse. She has another song called Lighthouse. And when, basically a lighthouse is in, oh, I had this written out so well in my other notes. Like if I figure out how to open this back up in, with my technology and everything, and I find the old stuff, like the way I had it written out, I'll come back and, weave this album again and talk about this song again, but I'll use it for a different subject. It won't be Friday the 13th, but if I find it, I had it written out so well. I was pretty angry when I found out. I looked and it wasn't saved. I don't know. Blame it on Mercury retrograde. I don't know. Anyhow, or I don't want to say Friday the 13th because I'm putting a positive spin on this. So anyhow, but her song, she also has a song on that album called Lighthouse. And that makes me think like a lighthouse is it's like out in the ocean and everything, and a body of water, and it's like a lighthouse. It's like a place where it reminds me of how I talk about candles and like different points in my life where I had the warmth of a candle. Like it was going through these dark times and stuff in my life, and then it's just like I find it so comforting to go like in maybe a dark room or whatever and just light a candle and feel the warmth of the candle and think by the candle, or basically talk to the candle, because a candle is, can be more warm and comforting than another person, because you have the candle. Well, the candle's not going to run around and tell what you told it. It's not going to, run around and tell everybody, unless, of course, we have to watch phones and stuff now, but you never know, what's listening, if you know what I mean. But a candle is comforting, right? And I look at a candle kind of like a guiding light, like a lighthouse. Like you're out in the sea or whatever, and it's everything around you is dark, but there's that lighthouse. And it just makes you think of, um, I think about it like you're just dealing with like turbulent times and turbulent tides and turbulent turbulent tides, turbulent times. You're dealing with, the trials and tribulations and struggles of life. And then, but you need a guiding light. You need something that you can look up to, and like a voice that you can hear clearly in all the chaos, right? And that just makes me think of a lighthouse. And it's just funny that she she said that, like, because there's another person that I actually follow, and she was talking lately, she was talking about a lighthouse. And I'm like, there's so many things that this other creator, there's some like different creators are kind of saying the same, like saying the same words and different things. And it's funny when you hear certain words, because it's like, wait a minute, they didn't have to use that word, but they did. And there was somebody that I was following. I'll tell you another thing that happened was I had talked in a video lately about fog, that I had went out and it was so foggy out, and I looked up the information, like what does it mean when it's foggy out spiritually. And it was saying that it's something like you're walking in between realms, like the veil's thin, energy's trying to shift, things are trying to shift into like something else or into a different direction. There's some kind of a transition that you're going through. Something's changing. So that's why you see that fog. And the idea is it's foggy now, but eventually, you're going to be, maybe sooner than later, whatever, things are going to become more clear. There's going to be more clarity. So, but then after I said, that actually happened, and then I talked about it, one of a creator that I follow, she starts talking about fog, and then that there's going to be clarity. And then she started talking about a lighthouse. And that word has been on my mind. And then I go and look up information about the song "I Can't Wait" by Jill Scott, and the album and everything, what album is on, and everything like that. And then I'm looking at the other songs on the album, and there's a song called Lighthouse. And I'm like, wow, the synchronicities just keep popping up. But anyhow, on this album, Woman, that came out in 2015, we have the Sunset song that I came up with tonight, which is Can't Wait. It was the same last night, and it's the same again tonight. I even thought about that song for the last, not full moon, but for the last, Friday the 13th we had, and it was for the same reason. But anyhow, I'm gonna keep reading from my notes. Okay, so, um, guys, I'd mentioned that, you're looking at this lake of crystals, right? Okay, this is another crazy synchronicity. You're looking at this lake of crystals, and it's so funny that Jill Scott at one point thought that she couldn't get pregnant, she couldn't conceive. And I'm gonna read, from more of my notes or whatever. But it just so happened that she did get pregnant, and she, experienced the miracle of life, and she gave birth to a son, and she named her son Jet. And she named her son Jet. And the inspiration why, how she came up with the name Jet, was because she was on a movie set. And I'm going to be reading what that movie was, like in my notes. But I think it was maybe her makeup artist. She noticed that her makeup artist had this gem. I don't know if it was a necklace or what it was on, but she found out the name of it. And it was a black, stone crystal, whatever. And it was a jet. So she named her son Jet after that gem, because she looked at her son as like a precious miracle and like a rare like gem. Like she didn't, she didn't think she could get pregnant, and then she experienced the miracle of life. And so all these things tying together, I'm like, wow, these synchronicities are amazing. Like when you start working with the law of attraction and, looking for the angel numbers, well, not looking for them, but they'll just show up for you. And it's like, okay, when you start doing that stuff, and I'm even going to make this suggestion to listen to like guided meditations at night, and, make sure that they're, just guided meditations and things, and you will start to notice more and more synchronicities in your life, it seems like, anyhow. So anyhow, her son's name was inspired by a gemstone. Okay. Now, other things about Jill Scott: she's a singer songwriter, she's an actress, and she's a poet. Okay. Okay, the power. My technology's going crazy, guys. I apologize. Okay. The power. I'm going to talk about the power of the jetstone. And it's so funny, again, that crazy synchronicity. Here I'm talking about a lake of crystals and all that. And then I go looking up information about the Sunset Song and Jill Scott. And then I found out that she named her son after, after, after this gemstone. Okay. So anyhow, wow, the synchronicities. Okay. So the power of the jetstone properties. Okay. Jetstone is known to be protective and very grounding. It is fossilized wood. It's known for drawing out negative energy and calming anxiety, providing a shield for the wearer. And I wanted to make that suggestion, like when you think about Friday the 13th, if the next Friday the 13th comes up and you really believe in that superstition and that crazy stuff, hey, I'm making the suggestion to wear, maybe have a jet, gemstone, like as a necklace, or carry it like in a little, bag or something in your pocket, or you get what I'm saying, or, put it in your windowsill or something like that. But at the same time, with these crystals and things and different rituals and things that you do, you are the magic because you give it the power. You have to believe in it. You have to believe in it. It's not going to do anything if you don't believe. Okay. So you got to believe. And it maybe something could happen if you didn't believe, but believing makes it so much stronger. Okay. So anyhow, the physical characteristics of the jetstone. Okay. It's a deep black color. It's a deep black color, and it has a lightweight nature. Okay. Then I want to talk a little bit about some cultural legacies, right? Okay, so this made me think about Jet magazine. Okay. Here, Jill Scott named her son Jet after the gemstone. And obviously, they're African American. It made me think about the magazine Jet magazine. And in Jet magazine, there was a part in the Jet magazine that was featured every time they had the Jet magazine, and it was the beauty of the week. And in the magazine, they would all they I always wanted to be. I think a lot of young, like, black women and young black, females, like, when you would get that magazine, that was one of the things that, as soon as I got my Jet magazine, I wanted to see the beauty. Like, I think was it the beauty? It was the beauty of the week. And I would always want to see who the beauty of the week was. It wasn't like a beauty of the week, like it had to be a celebrity or anything like that. This was just the idea of the beauty of the week. It was, obviously Jet magazine is for African Americans. So it was a black woman, and it's showing, it's putting black women in a beautiful light. And, we are just not always put in that, I don't know how to say it. Like, we are not always celebrated for that. I think that, and not to say that we're not, like, because I don't feel that way, but it's not like we are always celebrated that way. We're not always celebrated for that. It's, you know, I think that a lot of times when, you know, just like Jill Scott, no, to me, Jill Scott is beautiful. Jill Scott is beautiful. Jill Scott is voluptuous. Jill Scott's beautiful. And it's funny because she was in a Tyler Perry movie. The movie was called Why Did I Get Married? Okay. Another person that was in that movie, um, well, Janet Jackson. Okay, and we all know Janet Jackson's, always been known as a beauty icon for Black women, right? For us. Okay, just like another like Whitney Houston. Okay, um, but in the movie Why Did I Get Married? And this is a Tyler Perry movie. Um, Jill Scott. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched it. But in the movie, Why Did I Get Married? The movie's called Why Did I Get Married? Her husband was always ridiculing her and making fun of her because of her weight. And if I can remember right, there was a scene where she was in like maybe a pink, like silky, if I can remember right, it was maybe a pink like silky nightgown or what. Jill Scott is beautiful. And I don't, but obviously she is a full figured woman, but she's beautiful. And they put it, in the movie as her husband was always ridiculing her and making fun of her, mocking her, and so in front of people and everything for her weight. And this is her husband, okay? And that's just a part I remember in the movie. But I'm just thinking about, okay, the idea of the beauty of the week. And I think I may have read it may even be in my notes that Jill Scott, um, don't quote me, but I think Jill Scott may have done some modeling. And Jill Scott's beautiful. Now that's my opinion. Beautiful, skin, everything. She's beautiful. And not only that is she just beautiful, but she's beautiful inside and out. I mean, listen to her music and her voice. Like that voice is coming from deep, within, and it's beautiful. Her message is beautiful. Okay. I think I may have heard that she may have an album or a song, not an album, but a song called Ashe. So obviously, Ashe, she's into spirituality as well. And then she named her son Jet after the gemstone. So anyhow, but I'm thinking about, I just kind of wanted to tie that into this live and in this video because I'm talking about Jill Scott and everything. And I'm thinking about the beauty of the week. And I'm thinking about, okay, Jet Magazine, because she named her son Jet after the gemstone. So that just made me think, here's, African American and all this. And I thought about Jet Magazine. So I thought I would just talk about it a little bit. Jet Magazine. Okay. So, Jet Magazine, there was Jet Magazine, and then Jet Magazine, I got some notes here. Jet Magazine had a sister publication called Ebony, okay? But Jet Magazine was known for providing, and think about the name Jet and think about what a jet is. Like it's, a plane, aircraft. You get what I'm saying? A jet, okay? So Jet Magazine was known as like a fast-paced news magazine about Black culture, Black life, where the name symbolized both the color black and speed. Okay. So in the magazine, okay, so then there's the sister publication, Ebony. So I told you that in Jet Magazine, they had a beauty of the week. And when I think a beauty of the week, again, I've said it before, like I could say it in another video. Every time I got my Jet Magazine, I always wanted to rush and see who the beauty of the week was. And I always had that, I always had a dream to where, man, if I ever get in shape and everything like that. And I think another thing about the beauty of the week is you had to have like some smarts. I think that may have been it. Like these were like college students. They had something backing them up, and some of them were models and things like that. But it wasn't necessarily, I think, about like a model that you would think of in like other magazines. Like there was a different idea about modeling in other magazines, whereas in a Black magazine, it showed the beauty of a Black woman and the idea of a Black woman and put her in this certain light. So it wasn't all about like, okay, you got to be real bone skinny or anything like that. Like you could have curves. And I always like that. You could have curves. All that was celebrated. And I think now, more so now, even all around now, that's getting to it's a more voluptuous kind of body is more, it's more celebrated than what it used to be. But I think that it's kind of like we're getting away from like the big, like full breasts, like boobs. And it's more like now you have the butt. What is it called? The BB. I don't even know. Like, is it BBL or and then they talk about that there's like a smell. I'm not getting into all that, but you know, you get what I'm saying. But anyhow, but I always liked looking at, Jet magazine and just seeing the beauty of the week. And I always imagine like, what would it be like to be the beauty of the week and have people open up and, it was done in a tasteful fashion, it's just the beauty of the week. But anyhow, and they were, in, mostly bikinis. But then there were, I think there were a couple of times there were women that were in like a full bathing suit, but mostly it was bikinis. And, they could be slender or they could have more junk in the trunk, that the beauty of a black woman was emphasized, right? Okay. And wouldn't have to be, a real, it be like a bit of a Crayola, like, different, all the shades of black beauty was welcomed, right? Because it's a black magazine, right? Okay, so anyhow, you get what I'm saying. So but also there was a sister publication that went along with Jet magazine, and that was Ebony magazine. Ebony magazine featured and maybe it may have been Essence, but I think it was Ebony magazine. They always had a feature where, like an article or whatever, where they had pictures of black couples. They had that idea of black love, and they would show where, different, black couples were married. Had, and the gowns and stuff would be so beautiful, and just just happiness, like black people happy. And a celebration, like celebrating life, so when you a lot of times when you look at, like, movies, like, you know black movies, there's always these, there a lot of times there's like a negative aspect to it, like, I don't know, black on black crime and killing and all that different stuff. And it's nice to see, like, just black people happy. Okay, so I'll leave it there. You get what I'm saying. But anyhow, so in the magazine Ebony, the sister magazine to Jet, there was a feature called Date with a Dish. And they, Date with a Dish, they would have like these, you know, it was mostly like soul food. And the pictures, like the photography, whatever, maybe it was done by like a food stylist or something, like it was just laid out so well. Date with a Dish. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about these two magazines. I just thought about it and I wanted to kind of talk about it just a little bit. So and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up Date with a Dish and the Ebony magazine, and then that section Date with a Dish, it was just, different. They would have like sweet potato pie or really good macaroni and cheese, not just your normal macaroni and cheese, but like really good macaroni and cheese, or like really good, like, I don't know, all kinds of different things, like, but it was just done in just a very tasteful, and the way they would have it set up and everything, it was just so beautifully and, what should I say, tastefully done. Okay. But I thought about that, weaving that into this whole idea of I can't wait. And she's talking about in the song coming home and being with her mate. Well, I thought about, okay, are you going to make him dinner? Maybe. Are you going to make him a little bit of dinner? So I thought about that Jet magazine, and then the sister magazine being Ebony. And if you know about Ebony magazine, you know about Date with a Dish. So I just thought about weaving that idea of coming home and maybe preparing a meal. Like maybe she would prepare her man a meal before all this goes down, because he's got to have his energy and his protein so they can do what they got to do. And um, I don't know, and just, you know, what is it? There's nothing like loving when there's something in the oven. I know you've heard the saying. So anyhow, that just makes me just think about that. So anyhow, can't wait. So make a meal for your mate, and there you go. Date with a dish. So there we are. So anyhow, okay, so moving right along. Production and aesthetics. Okay. Let me look up here a little bit. Okay. Let me move on, looking up more stuff here. Okay, I want to say I see some names. I don't know what's going on with TikTok, but anyhow, I'm so curious as to see how many people have joined me tonight, because last night when I was really thinking that I was like talking to myself, and if I was going to talk to myself, because if that's the kind of the way it seems, hey, I'm a Gemini anyway, so I'm talkative, and it's the sign of the twin. So I'm like, it kind of feels like I'm talking to myself, but at the same time, this is a video, it's a live, and later on, you won't be able to view it in its entirety if it goes over an hour on TikTok, because TikTok is all about ticking and talking and saying what you got to say, and get off. Like, you get what I'm saying. But I do have a channel, of course, on YouTube, and it's called Sunset Songs. And there you can go and view the video in its entirety. And so in that way, it wouldn't matter if I am on here and nobody had joined, because I just think that somewhere along the line, somebody's going to see the video. And right now, I don't have a lot of subscribers on YouTube, but I did notice when I started going live, I started getting more subscribers. But that is why I want to sync my TikTok with my YouTube, and I think things will change then. But you know, on YouTube, I don't go live yet, so you know, I'm looking. I can't wait. I can't wait. And the song's called "I Can't Wait." I can't wait till I get to the point where I am doing that. I'm going live on TikTok. I can't wait to go live on TikTok. And at the same time, I'm going live on TikTok. I'll also be going live on YouTube and other platforms. So anyhow, but I can't wait, but it's coming, right? It's coming. I'm claiming it because it's already done, because I'm into the law of attraction, and yeah. So anyhow, I want to say what's up to, I do see a Johnny that has joined me, and I want to thank you so much, Johnny, for joining me for this live. Because obviously this live I was supposed to finish it up last night, but I'm going to find a way to weave it into something else. And, it's the morning after Friday the 13th. That's what you're looking at in this picture, the Lake of Crystals. Last night, this was like a dark image, and it was beautiful and everything, but it was more mysterious. Now the mystery is gone, and we've made it through through the night, and now we have the Lake of Crystals, and she can look down, and basically this is standing in for me, so she can look down into the Lake of Crystals and see her reflection. There's a black cat behind her. He's protecting her and looking out for her, and everything's good. And the energy is wonderful, because the black cat and the all the crystals are charging the energy and the magnetism, and yeah, so it's positivity. And we got the sun charging everything, and we made it. So the idea is Friday the 13th really that bad? Like, it's just a narrative that was put out there. It's not true. Like, I'm changing the story, I'm changing the narrative, and there's so many other people that are trying to do the same thing. It's not just me. So anyhow, so in that idea, we are reclaiming the day. We are reclaiming that idea of Friday the 13th. We are reclaiming that day. We are taking back that energy and taking back that day, reclaiming that day and reclaiming that night as something positive. Okay. So, the theme, Friday the 13th, we're reclaiming it. Friday the 13th is actually Freya's Day. Freya's Day. A day of feminine power, luck, and protection. Okay. And we're just moving forward in this, a fast-paced energy. working with our crystals and everything, and working the energy and working with the day and grounding this energy, the positive energy, um and just protection and grounding all this positive energy. We're using it and working with it. Like we're not looking at things in a negative light. Okay. So the persona, okay, the artist Jill Scott and the woman 2015. Jill Scott isn't just a singer. She's a singer-songwriter. She's an actress. She's a poet, and she's a model. Here it is right here. She's a model. Okay, the album. Her 2015 album, Woman, is her, it's just, it's got a beautiful cover. It represents a raw, honest exploration of the complexities of womanhood, the highs, the lows, and the strength in rebuilding oneself. Okay, the evolution. Unlike her earlier vibrant colors, this artwork on her album Woman, this artwork signals a shift to a more serious, mature, a more deeply personal journey. And it's like a journal, okay, through song, okay. Okay, the song and the shift. Okay. Can't Wait. Okay. The boss lady energy. So in this song Can't Wait, Jill portrays the woman who is a boss in her own right. She's working, she's independent, and she's on. So she's a boss lady in her own right, but at the same time, she's a boss lady. She is a boss lady. She's a boss lady in her own right, but at the same time, she's getting ready for the night because she's talking about, later on, she's going home to her mate and she can't wait. She can't wait for that time in that sacred space, that sanctuary with him. Like, his arms, the comfort, and all that. Okay, so the homecoming. Okay, the heart of the song is about the desire to leave the world behind and return home to her man. Okay. I've talked about the date with the dish and, everything. Okay. Date with the dish and the magazine. Jet. Think about, what a jet is. And then there's the magazine Jet. There is the sister publication to Jet, Ebony. Jet was named, its name symbolized blackness and speed, the fast-paced news of the world. Okay. Just as Jet represents the fast workday, I'm thinking about Ebony's date with a dish. Just as Jet represents the fast workday, date with a dish represents the transition into the home, nurturing, cooking a good dinner, and providing shelter. Okay. Okay. The Jet Stone and Jet. Jill Scott revealed in a 2009 Essence interview and later with People.com that she named her son Jet after the gemstone. The protection. And think about protection because, everybody's trying to, running around scared of Friday the 13th, the idea of Friday the 13th. And hey, today is Saturday the 14th. And did anything bad happen? Nothing bad happen for me. I woke up and everything was fine. Okay. So, but at the same time, if you feel next Friday the 13th comes up and you're a little bit scared or whatever, or you're watching some scary movies and you just feel like you need some added protection, Shadow Girl Sherry is making the suggestion for you to work with the Jet Stone, this Jet gemstone. Okay. Because it's about protection. Okay. This stone is fossilized wood. It is a powerful grounding stone that acts as a shield against negative energy. It helps calm anxiety and provide spiritual protection. It's lightweight but carries deep, ancient strength. It is lightweight, but it carries deep, ancient strength. Okay? The Beacon, the Lighthouse. Okay, on the same album as Can't Wait, the track Lighthouse serves as a soulful anthem. The lyrics: it's about being a provider of shelter, strength, and support for a loved one during difficult times, acting as that unwavering light. Okay? Guys, I'm just want to say I hope you guys, enjoyed, you like the the viewpoint or the scene that I set last night, because I just the woman in that visual, again, I think I've said it already, or if I stands in for me, like she's representing me basically. I wanted her to look mysterious. She is a veil. I debated whether I was going to make, her outfit and her veil and everything, was I going to make it blue like, the Lake of Crystals, or was I going to make it dark like the night? And I decided to go with black and make, it's a mysterious color. Just, of course, dark blue would have been, mysterious as well, but I went with black. And but the idea was mystery, veiling, maybe a little bit of cloaking, and just, the idea of just grounding the night, that night energy and protection. Okay. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about caring for your jetstone. And it's so funny, guys, because I actually have a gemstone, the jetstone myself, and I got that stone. I want to think it may have been around about September or October. There was, I think maybe there was something that was going down with Black Moon Lilith. If you're into spirituality and all that, Black Moon Lilith or something, there was something, yeah, all the videos were popping up about that. And it was a Black Moon Lilith, that kind of energy. And I think it was another blood moon that we had or something. And it was around about September, or maybe even close to Halloween. I don't know. But somewhere along the line, the idea was put out there, obviously, crystals for protection. And I got a jet. I think I got a clear quartz, but it was a clear quartz that had some kind of I don't know if maybe it was a black clear. Guys, I'll have to find it. Like, I don't have it like right in front of me, but I definitely got a jet. I got a black obsidian, and there was another one that I got, but I can't remember, but I was going for the darker crystals. Okay. But anyhow, so it's funny that I have one. And then later on, I didn't even know I was going to, make this video about Jill Scott and her son. She named her son after the gemstone. She named her son Jet. So anyhow, so I'm going to give you some care instructions for a jet. Like, if you want to, you want to go to the metaphysical store and purchase one. Okay, so since jet is actually fossilized wood, not a mineral, it's much softer and more porous than other stones. It needs a gentle touch to keep its deep, lustrous black from dulling. Physical care: avoid water. Jet can be sensitive, and guys, this is just information that I looked up online. If you want to go and look up more information, then, of course, go ahead and do that. Okay. So, physical care: avoid water. Why do you avoid water? Jet can be sensitive to moisture. It's best to keep it dry and remove any jewelry any jewelry that has a jet before bathing or swimming, to prevent it from losing its shine. Okay, gentle cleaning. Use a soft fiber, use a gentle cleaning. Use a soft microfiber cloth or a very soft brush to wipe away dust and natural oils. Avoid any harsh chemicals or ultrasonic cleaners. Storage: because it has a low hardness, 2.5 to 4 on the Mohs, I'm going to spell it because I don't know what this, MOHS scale. I had to spell it out, guys. I'm sorry. Store it separately in a soft pouch so harder stones like quartz or diamonds don't scratch it. Because diamonds are made with pressure. So I want to say that, I just looked at the word diamonds, and, diamonds, they get that look with pressure. There, a diamond just isn't a diamond. It has to turn into a diamond. Like it takes pressure to make a diamond. Like, and with that being said, if you're going through hard times, you might want to think about that. Maybe you're going through the hard times and all that because hey, you're going to be a diamond. You know what? And you're going to be a diamond. So just keep that in mind, okay? So, anyhow, so store it separately in a soft pouch so harder stones like quartz or diamonds don't scratch it. So that makes me think of a harder stone. Like if you're going through hard times, just remember that, okay? Hard times build character, okay? So anyhow, energetic cleansing and charging, smoke cleansing. Pass your jet through the smoke of sage, palo santo, or cedar. This is the safest way to clear its energy without risking water damage. Okay, moonlight. But I think that you could probably put, it in water for a little bit, whatever. Just okay. Okay, moonlight. Place it on a windowsill during a full moon. This recharges its protective properties with gentle lunar energy. Okay, and that's feminine. Lunar energy is feminine energy, and that's what we're talking about. We are emphasizing in this particular video. Okay, the earth connection. Since jet is fossilized wood, it loves being returned to the soil. You can bury it in a small pot or dry earth for 24 hours for a deep reset. Avoid sunlight. Prolonged exposure to direct, harsh sun can cause jet to fade or become brittle over time. Okay? The energy and astrology of jet. The emotional shield. Guys, I got to get another drink. It just makes me think about Jill Scott and being at work. Jill Scott being at work, it makes me think about anybody, being at work. And, there's been times where I've been on jobs and stuff and, I'm sitting here clearing my throat. Clear, drinking, something for my throat. This makes me think about how many times I've been like on a job and like there was like a soda machine, and my big thing was, I always wanted to go to the soda machine and get my second win, like go and get my second win through that soda machine and go get like a Coke. And then, when I started to change things up, I would go and get a Diet Coke, but I wanted that energy. And then, there would be people that, during their break or whatever, I'd be going to the snack machine, and I shouldn't have been doing that because I love sugar. But people would be going and, there would be jobs where everyone wanted to have like a smoke break. Wanted to go and like have a cigarette break, and everybody would be having their cigarette break and everything, and gossiping and all that different stuff. And I've always been one of those ones where I don't like being around too much gossip because I just feel like it affects me after a while. It kind of starts to get on my nerves. I can take it for a little bit, then it starts to get on my nerves. And I was always one of those ones where there would just be sometimes to reset my energy. I just wanted to go and kind of be off to myself. And everybody would, they would have their smoke breaks. And my thing is, instead of like having a smoke break, or even now I think about my cigarette where other people have cigarettes. My smoke is when I light an incense, or when I light an incense, or I'm burning my sage. That's how I get my smoke. Like, I don't put it up to my mouth or anything, but you get what I'm saying. Like, that just makes me feel relaxed. I I may have smoked a cigarette, like tried it like twice, and it wasn't my thing. But anyhow, guys, I want to say what's up to everybody. I'm just thinking about that because I'm thinking about the song "Can't Wait," and she's talking about being on her job and everything. And I just thought about different jobs I've been on, and the energy, on the job, and how you try to make the energy better. And I was one of those ones also where there was a couple of times I like took my diary or like journal with me, and like when I would have my dinner break, I would have part of the dinner break to eat, and then I would have like 5 minutes left over, and I'm like, man, let me get some of these thoughts out of my mind and just jot something down, even if it's just a note or something. Like, you guys are helping me out because this is my personal journey with the law of attraction and things like that. But I don't have to have a journal really. I can just, again, I've said it earlier, I can just come and get my feelings out with you guys. But anyhow, I want to say what's up to everybody. I do see a Dear Eyes that has joined me. Um, One thing I'll say about myself, I don't, I'm thinking about the name Dear Eyes because there have been different people that have told me that I have eyes like a doe. You guys don't know what I look like, but I have been told that, and I'm just looking at the name Dear Eyes, and that's just what I'm thinking about right now. Just the eyes of a doe, and deer, they're beautiful. They are beautiful. But anyhow, I love animals anyway. But anyhow, I just wanted to say what's up to everybody, and let me jump back into my notes. Okay, so the energy and astrology of Jet, the emotional shield. Jet is often called the stone of purification. It doesn't just block negative energy, it acts like an energetic filter, drawing out stagnant emotions, especially grief, fear. Okay, and that I'm emphasizing that word fear because, Friday the 13th was yesterday and there were people trying to make you think about fear. Okay. Now, if you wanted to watch the movies and all that that, okay, but it's even said that at different points, like when the moon is full and different stuff like that, you have to watch what you consume. Like, and I'm talking about when I say consume, watch your diet. And it's a good time to drink more water because your body is more affected during a full moon, and you got to think about how much water you're drinking. Like, drink more water because your body's, what is it, made of like 70% water, and if it's affecting like other bodies of water, then it's affecting you as well because your body is made up of so much water. And just to watch what you consume, like because the energy's intense. And even when I say watch what you consume with your eyes. What are you looking at? Because it said that your mind, your subconscious mind is just really, it's wide open at that point. And you're feeding it at that point. You're feeding your mind stuff. So it's just like, really, do you want to watch a movie with Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger at a time when the moon's full? Like, you're taking that in, you're sucking it in. Like, anyhow, so let me keep reading here. These are just things that are coming to my mind when I'm looking at the words that I've written down. Okay, so it acts like an energetic filter, drawing out stagnant emotions, especially grief, fear, and anxiety, and helping you process them. For the boss lady, it's an excellent for the boss lady. And see, Jill Scott calls herself the boss lady in her song Can't Wait. For the boss lady, it's excellent for business protection. It helps you stay grounded and clear headed during high stress negotiations or when you're making tough executive decisions. Okay. Astrological ties. Okay, so looks like Jet, this gemstone, it has an astrological tie with Capricorn and Saturn. I could see that because Capricorn in Saturn energy. Now we're talking about a jet, and it's a black crystal, and I know that jet in like black crystals and protection, and I'm thinking about Capricorn. It's got to be protection and boundaries, like setting a boundary. Okay, Capricorn and Saturn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Okay, and so there's that energy of discipline and all that different stuff. So let me keep reading. Jet is most strongly aligned with Capricorn. It mirrors Capricorn's disciplined, grounded, and enduring nature. It's ruled by Pluto. Okay, I take that back. Now I thought, okay, here we go. Here it is. Okay. Capricorn and Saturn. Jet is most strongly aligned with Capricorn. It mirrors Capricorn's disciplined, grounded, and enduring nature. It's ruled by Pluto. Pluto, transformation, and sometimes Saturn, which is structure. Okay, so there we go. So I was right. Saturn. Okay, so it's ruled by Pluto, but which Pluto deals with transformation, and I know that because Pluto, the tarot card that aligns with Pluto, one of the tarot cards anyway, it's the Death Tarot card, and if you know about the Death Tarot card, it really is about transformation. It really is, because something has to die, and it wouldn't mean a physical death, but something has to die in order for something new to be reborn. Something has to die. Something has to end for there to be a new beginning. And let me take my drink here because I have been talking a while. Guys, I apologize for that sound. But if I don't drink, you're not going to hear the sound of my voice. But anyhow, okay. So, Virgo energy. It also resonates deeply with Virgo. It helps refine routines and provides the mental clarity needed to analyze what habits are no longer serving you. The root chakra. It anchors the root chakra, providing that essential sense of safety and home. The root chakra, it anchors the root chakra, providing that essential sense of safety and home that we discussed in this song Can't Wait. Like, she's trying to get home to her mate, and she's working and doing everything she's got to do so she can get those bills paid, because bills got to be paid. And you got to take care of those bills in order to have the home. So in order for you to do that, you got to make sure that root chakra is you're looking out for your root chakra, and it anchors the root chakra, providing that essential sense of safety and home that Jill Scott has talked about, because she's talking about getting home to her mate, and there we go. So okay. The tactile magic of jet. Okay, one of the most unique things about jet, and what separates it from stones like onyx or obsidian, is how it feels in your hand. While most crystals feel cold like glass or ice, jet has a surprising natural warmth. Okay? And guys, I want to quickly say something about that root chakra. Now, because I just saw something about the root chakra. Okay, when it comes to the root chakra, that is a chakra that kind of works with that idea of fear. Because think about it, the root chakra is red. Okay, now what color is blood? Blood is red. The root chakra is red. Okay, and just look into it a little bit, because the root chakra is about stability, and just think about just fear. Okay, fear. Yeah, because I'm talking about Friday the 13th and all that, blood, and blood, and I think you know what I'm talking about, just the root chakra. Okay, so I just wanted to make that little bit of a connection there. But anyhow, onto the stone, sticking to jet. One of the most unique things about jet, and what separates it from stones like onyx or obsidian, is how it feels in your hand. While most crystals feel cold like glass or ice, jet has a surprising natural warmth. Why it feels warm? Because jet is an organic gemstone, fossilized wood, rather than a mineral, it has low thermal conductivity. This means it doesn't pull heat away from your skin the way a cold stone does. The lava rock connection. Okay. All right. We're thinking about this sense of warmth. It shares this property with amber and even some types of porous lava rock. The fake test. This is actually the best way to tell if jet is real. If you hold it to your cheek and it feels chilly, it's likely black glass or plastic. Real jet will feel like it's already holding your body heat. The paradox. Jet is a bit of a gentle giant in the gem world. Now this scale, I'm going to spell it, the MOHS scale. I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry, I don't. Okay. So that scale It ranks between two on that scale. It ranks between 2.5 and 4. To give you an idea of how soft that is, a copper penny is a 3 and your fingernail is a 2.5. You could actually leave a mark on it with a determined scratch. So you could scratch it with your nail. The strength. Even though it's soft and can be scratched easily, it is remarkably durable and tough because it has a fibrous, woody origin. It doesn't shatter like glass. It can be carved into incredibly intricate details, which is why it was so famous for Victorian mourning jewelry. And when I say morning jewelry, I'm not talking about this morning sun that you're looking at in this picture here with the lake of crystals. We're talking about mourning like death, like you get what I'm saying? Mourning, like you're in mourning. Okay, you wear black and you're in mourning. You know, the wife at the funeral. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Light as a feather. Despite its deep, solid look, it is incredibly lightweight. You can wear massive, chunky jet earrings or necklaces all day without them feeling heavy or pulling on you. Okay? All right. When you hold a piece of jet, you'll notice something immediately. It isn't cold like other stones, it's warm to the touch, almost as if it's alive. That's making me think about that song, I Can't Wait, because she's trying to get home to her mate, and I'm imagining he's warm as well. Okay. And warm to the touch. Okay. So it's warm to the touch, almost as if it's alive. This is the energy of the ancient wood it came from. Organic, grounded, this is the energy of the ancient wood it came from. Organic, grounded, and comforting. Like that man she's trying to get home to, or like the man you might be trying to get home to, or the woman you're trying to get home to. Okay? While it's soft enough to be carved by a steady hand, it's tough enough to act as your shield. It's the perfect stone for the boss lady because it provides that heavy duty protection without ever weighing you down. Okay? All right. Okay, and I'm just thinking about a jet, a plane, and just, going on a journey here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let me see what other things I want to add here. Okay. The jet paradox. Okay. The boss lady in the stone, the outer shell, the hard jet. Just like the jet stone is durable and acts as a protective shield, Jill Scott in Can't Wait is the boss lady. Out in the world, she is the professional, the on artist, and the provider. She is that toughness to navigate the fast paced jet magazine energy of the industry, the inner core, the warm jet. But here is the synchronicity. Jet is a warm stone. It's fossilized wood, not cold glass. The sanctuary. When she leaves the hard world and heads toward her sanctuary, her man, her mate, that outer shield doesn't just disappear, it reveals the warmth and comfort underneath. In the song, she isn't just giving comfort, she craves it. She needs to be handled like that precious jet with a gentle touch because even a hard stone that has stood the test of time is organic and soft at its heart. Okay? Handle with care. Think about the jet stone. It's known for being this deep, dark, protective shield, hard enough to be carved and durable enough to last for centuries. But when you actually hold it, it's warm. It's not cold like obsidian or onyx. This is the energy Jill Scott captures in Can't Wait. She's out there being the boss, being the hard stone for everyone else. But when she's heading home, she's looking for warmth. She's transitioning from the jet speed of the world into the date with a dish, comfort of her home. Just like the gemstone, she is tough for the world, but warm and soulful for her sanctuary. She needs that soft side to be handled with care, because even the strongest shield needs a place to rest. Okay. All right. So guys, I just want to make that suggestion, when it comes to like fear and stuff like that, work with that root chakra. Um Work with that root chakra, the jet stone crystal here. You know, the jet stone, or not crystal, but the jet stone, work with it to create a shield against that crazy Friday the 13th anxiety that everybody's always trying to build up. And when you are in a group and you're thinking, the same thoughts, as a collective, the energy it intensifies. Like if you're gathered in a group for something positive, in like say you're gathered somewhere in prayer, that's positive. Like everybody's praying for a good turnout and good things. But at the same time, if you're in a protest and everybody's mad and all this, that, and the third, then that energy is intensified as well. So anyhow, the jet gemstone, okay? Okay, the root chakra, stability versus fear. The concept: the root chakra is located at the base of your spine. It is your foundation. When it's balanced, you feel stability and security. When it's off, it manifests as fear, that shaky ground feeling, okay? The jet connection. Jet is one of the most powerful stones for this chakra because it's a spiritual vacuum cleaner. It doesn't just block fear, it absorbs it and neutralizes it. Okay? If you feel that Friday the 13th superstition creeping in, hold your jet. Let it pull that what if energy out of your head and anchor it back into the earth. You aren't falling, you're rooting. You are taking root, you're not falling. Okay? Reclaiming Friday the 13th, the day of the goddess, the hidden history. Long before it was considered unlucky, Friday the 13th was a day to honor the divine feminine. The names. Friday is named after Freya, the Norse goddess of love, magic, and war, and is associated with Venus. Venus was the goddess of love as well. Venus is the goddess of love, luxury, beauty. Yeah. The symbol that goes along with Venus is basically like a circle. It has a line down it, and then through the line there is a mirror, or there is a line through that. There's a circle, so that would be the mirror's like face. Then there's a line going down from the circle. That would be the handle, and then there's that line that goes across through the one line that's going down. So it looks like when you hold a mirror up, so it looks like a mirror. Okay, and Venus, what is it? Copper. That's a whole other story. Anyhow. 13 is the number 13 13 is the number of the moon. There are 13 lunar cycles in a year, matching the natural cycles of womanhood. The shift. The fear of this day was actually a fear of feminine power and intuition. By wearing jet on that day, Friday the 13th, you aren't hiding from bad luck. You're honoring the cycles of creation and rebirth. And lunar energy and feminine energy is a protective energy, because think about it, like when a woman is pregnant, her baby's protected in the darkness of her womb. Okay, this is protective energy. Okay, so by wearing jet on Friday the 13th, you aren't hiding from bad luck. You're honoring the cycles of creation and rebirth. The jet shield for the feminine spirit. The message. Just like I've talked about Jill Scott, the boss lady, needing her sanctuary, Friday the 13th is the world's day to return to the sanctuary of the feminine. How to use the energy. Use Jet to protect your receptive energy. It allows you to be open and intuitive. That's a feminine energy, without being invaded by the chaotic or fearful energy of others, and especially on Friday the 13th, being negative. It's the warm protection it's the warm protection. It keeps you cozy and safe in your own power. While everyone else is out on Friday the 13th, they're worried about bad luck. We know the truth. Friday the 13th is actually the day of the goddess. It's named after Freya. It's powered by the 13 cycles of the moon. If you're feeling that Friday the 13th anxiety, that's just your root chakra needing an anchor. So use the jet gemstone, because it's the ultimate filter for fear. It takes that shaky, nervous energy and turns it into stability. Remember, 13 isn't a scary number. It's a feminine number. It's a number of rebirth. So while the world is hiding, consider using a gemstone to stand firm, stay warm, and own your own magic. This is the boss lady in her sanctuary. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about Jill Scott, and before long, I'm going to have to shut this down. Okay, the birth of Jet Hamilton Roberts. The date of birth. Jet was born on April 20th of 2009. Now, this is her son. Okay, Jill Scott's son. Okay, the miracle. Jill had been told by doctors for years that she could not conceive. Now, this is feminine energy at work here. Jill had been told by doctors for years that she could not conceive. Finding out she was pregnant was a complete shock. She called him her miracle baby. The detective agency story. Strength under pressure. The setting. Jill was starring in the HBO series The #1 Ladies Detective Agency. Okay. All right. Now, and I'm just thinking about, I'm thinking about things like, she's working and everything, and that's when she found out she was pregnant. That's when she found out she's pregnant. And, obviously now women work when they're pregnant, morning sickness and all. And I'm just kind of thinking about that Jetstone and all that. And when you're dealing with all that kind of stuff, and this is like the Jetstone energy, right? She had to be the boss lady on the set, professional, leading a major production and enduring, all the things that come with work. And at the whole time, she is protecting the warmth of the new life growing, obviously in, within her, this feminine energy. That's the feminine energy. Okay. Protective energy. Okay. Let's see here. And I had some information, but I wanted to look up that a little bit more because, sometimes that, when you look up things online, because this is where, I try to make sure that everything's right. So I'm going to look into that, a little bit more, whatever. Okay. All right. So, it looks like, there was a weight gain mystery with Jill. She told People magazine, people.com, that she actually thought something was wrong with her at first. She was trying to gain weight for her role in the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, and she noticed she put on 7 pounds in 7 days. She told them, "I thought, my God, what's going on here?" Wow, she was trying to gain weight. Wow, when you're doing all this acting and everything, the things that you have to do. Okay, the last minute discovery, it was only then that she found out she was pregnant. Okay. So anyhow, her rare gem, I'll say, Jet, because she named her son Jet after the gem stone Jet. Jet Hamilton Roberts was born on April 20th of 2009. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to look at other things that I want to share with you guys, and some things I'm just looking over. All right. Okay. All right. I'm just not really worried about sharing that. Some of the stuff I gotta make, I'd have to make sure. Okay. But anyhow, let's see. Guys, I'm still here. I am still here. I'm just working through my notes and just reading what's really necessary, because before long I'm gonna have to shut this live down. But guys, I've had so much fun delivering this message to you guys, and I hope it's been well received. Okay, I'll tell you about the launch of Jet Magazine. The legacy: Jet Ebony, and Date with a Dish. The launch of Jet Magazine. The launch of Jet Magazine. Jet was founded by John H. Johnson and first hit the stands on November 1st, 1951. It was designed to be the weekly Negro news magazine, small enough to fit in a pocket, providing fast-paced jet speed news. The sister publication. Ebony Magazine was the older sister, founded in 1945, while Jet was the sister publication. Ebony Magazine was the older sister, founded in 1945, while Jet was the fast-moving news of the world. Ebony was the lifestyle authority for the home. Date with a Dish. This was the legendary culinary column in Ebony, started by Frida D. Knight, the first food editor. It wasn't just recipes. It was about the art of the black home, showing the boss lady, how to transition from the world to the kitchen to provide that warmth and nourishment for her family. Okay. Think about the history of the name Jet. When John H. Johnson launched Jet Magazine in 1951, he named it for blackness and speed. It was for the person on the go, the boss, the worker, the mover. That's the hard side of the stone. But Jet had a sister, Ebony. And I'm thinking about it right now. Jet is, it's a black gemstone, and then ebony, of course, is a dark black color. Okay, so Jet and Ebony. But Jet had a sister, and inside Ebony, they had a feature called Date with a Dish. That was the sanctuary. That was where the fast-paced news stopped and the warmth of the home began. This is exactly what Jill Scott is singing about in Can't Wait. She's been out in that jet speed world, filming in Botswana, being the detective, being the boss, but her soul is craving that Date with a Dish energy. She's ready to come home, drop the hard exterior of the day, and be warm in the grounding light for her mate. She revealed this miracle journey to Essence Magazine and People, showing us that you can be the headline in Jet, but still find your peace in the sanctuary of Ebony. Okay. Botswana miracle. Okay. She found out she was pregnant. She found out she was pregnant while, she was working on the set of the detective agency set. Okay. Okay, just the jet stone. Okay. It's a hard shield, but it's warm to the touch, like the transition from boss to home. Okay. Friday the 13th. We're reclaiming this as the day of the goddess Freya, 13 moons, and the root chakra. Okay, I want to add a couple of more notes, and pretty soon I'm going to be shutting down, guys. Okay, so let's see. So Jill Scott played Lady Eve. Lady Eve. Now let me look exactly. Lady Eve, and I'm thinking about the Jetstone, the energy, dark, protective, and commanding, in a literal role she played. Okay. Okay, Lady Eve. Okay. She actually, it looks like a funeral parlor. Okay, let me look this up. Okay. The Lady Eve persona, the Blackbird funeral parlor. Now I'm at to find this. I'm at to find this show. Okay, the Blackbird funeral parlor energy. The role in the CW series Black Lightning, Jill Scott plays Lady Eve. On the outside, she is the wealthy, sophisticated owner of Blackbird Funeral Parlor in Freeland. The power. She isn't just a business owner, she's a high-level mastermind who controls the city's most dangerous criminals like Tobias Whale without ever having to raise her voice. The connection to Jet. This role is the ultimate Jetstone personified. A funeral parlor is a place of deep transition and protection for the soul. Lady Eve moves through that shadowy world with total authority and poise. The cold versus warm mastermind, the boss lady. As Lady Eve, Jill Scott shows us a woman who has mastered her root chakra. She is unshakable. Even in a room full of villains, she is the one in control. The sanctuary of the shadow. While the world sees a funeral parlor as a place of ending in the show, it's her base of operations, her sanctuary. The lesson. You can be Lady Eve, commanding, mysterious, and draped in the blackbird shadows, but still have that deep, soulful Jill Scott warmth. It's about knowing how to use your power to bridge the world of the living, the jet speed, and the world of the ancestors. Okay. She played the owner of the Blackbird Funeral Parlor. Okay, and I'm just thinking about the imagery here. The blackbird, the jetstone, the shadows. She was the bridge between the street and the secret leaders. She didn't need to scream to get respect. She had that jet durability. She showed us that a woman can own the shadows. She can run the funeral parlors of her life, closing the doors on what no longer serves her while staying absolutely sophisticated and in control, whether she's being the detective in Botswana or Lady Eve in Freeland. She's always the one holding the keys to the sanctuary. Okay, Jill Scott is Lady Eve, owner of Blackbird Funeral Parlor, the mastermind, the bridge. Okay. Okay. Jetstone properties, warm to the touch, the root chakra, protection from Friday the 13th. That, what they try to put out there. Protection from Friday the 13th. If you are fearing Friday the 13th, because we're reclaiming it. We have reclaimed the day of the goddess Freya. Okay. Now here I'm going to give you the notes to the song, and this is going to be about it, guys, because I got to close this down, guys. It's 12:39, 12:40 in the morning. I got to wrap this up. Okay, so here's the notes to the song, guys. Please go and listen to this song. It's beautiful. Okay, it's soulful. It is it samples a song by Isaac Hayes, and Isaac Hayes was big in the 70s. He did the theme for another, black detective, Shaft. Okay, Shaft. Okay, and so he did the theme for Shaft, and that makes me think of the other, black, people that was in black cinema at that time, like Pam Grier. Pam Grier, she was Foxy Brown. Okay. So here are the lyrics to Can't Wait by Jill Scott, word for word, from her 2015 album Woman. I'm not going to sing it, I'm just going to say it. And I'm going to try to say it with emphasis if I can. So, she starts it out and she's just like, when she says that, she's like, I'm not even gonna go for that because I can't do it like Jill. I'm not gonna try to impersonate Jill, okay? Because I can't do it like Jill. Jill is Jill. So I can't wait to see you. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now see, I had gotten my thing, technology had given me the wrong stuff and I had to look it up and it's like that's not the right one. I don't know where that rendition came from. Now this is it. Okay. So this is the song, okay, Can't Wait by Jill Scott from the album Woman 2015. Now guys, go listen to this song. It's beautiful. At least I like it. Tell me what you think about the song. Just tell me what you think. But I'm going to read the words. Okay. I got something on my back that I need to get off. Baby, the world's been nuts. Just the other day, I had to reprimand a grown-up. Just the other day, I had to reprimand a grown-up. Who am I to act this way? Well, sugar, I'm the boss lady. Busy handling and managing. But oh, when I get next to you, baby, ain't nobody gonna be there but me and you. Can't wait to be loved by you. I can't wait to be loved by you, baby. Can't wait to be loved by you. I've been working so hard and so long. Can't wait to be loved by you. I need to come home. I do. Can't wait to be loved by you. I do. I've been going through some things, feeling all kind of hectic in my space. We all running the same race as we pace. I'm staring monsters in their face with grace. And that's why I picked this song for this, because I'm thinking about the fear and everything that, is being built up around Friday the 13th. And of course, the monsters, like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, all that, the Pinhead, who's the clown, Pennywise, all those. But anyhow, but I'm trying to warm it up with this song. Like, this is about love and, the feminine energy colliding with the masculine energy. This is about love, right? So anyhow, but when I read this makes me think of not just about, she's talking about the facing maybe the demons, her own personal demons, and staring monsters in their face, staring down her own personal demons, dealing with the hectic work schedule and having to be the boss lady and doing it, coming correct with it, right? So she's handling it. So I've been going through some things, feeling all kind of hectic in my space. We all run in the same race as we pace. I'm staring monsters in their face with grace. You'd be so proud, money made, bills to be paid like each and everybody. But baby, I'm me and I need you. Oh, when I get next to you, baby, ain't nobody gonna be there but me and you. Can't wait to be loved by you. I can't wait, baby. Can't wait to be loved by you. I've been working so hard and so long. Can't wait to be loved by you. I need your arms. I do. Can't wait to be loved by you. Come to me soon. Hey, when you want to get off, you can get it off right here. Baby, no fear. And that's that word fear, right? We ain't fearing Friday the 13th. Baby, no fear. Let all that old thing go. Don't worry about it no more. Got you, baby. No, I got you right here, deep in the bedroom or maybe in the back of the car. I got you, baby. What's up? What's up? What's up? So, reprimand a grown up. Why these lyrics matter for this video. Reprimand a grown up. This is the ultimate boss lady line. It shows the frustration of the day that jetstone helps to ground. Staring monsters in their face with grace. This ties perfectly into the root chakra and Friday the 13th, in the Friday the 13th theme, facing fears without being shaken. Deep in the bedroom or the back of the car, this is that raw, honest woman energy, all about the album cover. Look at the album cover that she aligned with this song, like the album cover, the way it looks. This is that female feminine energy and doing what you got to do in handling and pleasing, and we got it. So you get what I'm saying. So guys, I'm hoping that you guys are going to go and take a listen to the song, because I can't play it for you. Like, I can't play it for you or anything. But this song, Can't Wait, was on her 2015 album Woman. And this was the era, this was, the a type of era. It shows her journey from the sun into the shadows and more grounded themes, okay? Um, the artistic timeline. In 2011, Jill Scott released, now this was another album, before she released Woman in 2015. The album she released before Woman in 2015, she released in 2011. She released the album The Light of the Sun. And I wanted to mention that because my channel is called Sunset Songs. Okay. So in 2011, Jill Scott released The Light of the Sun. This was her first studio album and her first to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. It represented a vibrant, high energy peak in her career. Okay, in 2015, she moved into the Woman era. This is where we see the shift we've been talking about, moving from that bright sun energy into a more mature, soulful, and introspective, and guys, I'm thinking about myself, shadow girl vibe, okay? Before she gave us the raw, honest journey of Woman in 2015, Jill was standing in the light of the sun in 2011. You can see the evolution, moving from the bright heat of the sun into the protective, grounded sanctuary of the Jetstone. She went from the light to the deep shadows, and that's where she found the strength to be the boss lady we see today. And guys, this is going to be the wrap up to the video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I had so much fun coming up, with the Sunset Song. It just, my whole idea with my channel is right before I go live, I just kind of set with myself and think, okay, I ask my higher self, whatever, give me a song. What song is tailored around the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about? And I told you the reason why I thought of this song it just came to me, this song by Jill Scott called I Can't Wait. She just talked about staring monsters in their face. And, I'm thinking about masks and all this different stuff and staring monsters in their face. And I've explained, what the way I looked at it. So I'm not going to go into all that, but this song took it from this fear and, everything like that. And, just dealing with life, even everyday life. And then the idea of just that feminine energy coming home and kind of coming together with that masculine energy and, creation. Feminine energy is a creative energy. So, and that's the whole idea. That was the original idea of Friday the 13th. It was about feminine energy, and feminine energy is creation. So, and when you combine it with masculine energy, you definitely got creation, right? So, anyhow, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed, looking up the information and listening to Jill Scott's song, I Can't Wait. I always try to listen to the Sunset Song before I go live and getting the feel of it and all that. I've had so much fun making this video, but I got to admit that I'm glad I made the video yesterday. I started the video yesterday. I didn't get to finish it. I started it at one point. I had a little bit of an interruption. I stopped that live. I started it again. Didn't finish it up last night. Today, I brought it over from Friday the 13th into the brand new morning light, from night into the morning light. We're looking at Crystal Lake and the sunrise and all that. And hey, guys, everything's okay. No fear. And we didn't use that feminine energy and talked about it. And I've just had so much fun making this video. You're going to hear me trying to figure out how to shut down, because I am a Gemini. So, I have a lot of thoughts and stuff. So sometimes I can kind of forget how to do things or whatever. But right now I'm trying to figure out how to shut down. You're going to maybe hear me trying to figure that out. But here in just a little bit, I'm going to be shutting down. And guys, I see what to do now. So this is going to be Shadow Girl Sherry. Again, I hope that you will choose to follow me here on TikTok, all that, Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry Shadow Closet. Go ahead and find me on Sunset Songs. Help me out over there. My channel's called Sunset Songs on YouTube. You're going to, click, and then because there's lots of channels that go by Sunset Songs, but mine is Sunset Songs. When you click on it, it's a circle that basically the symbol is a circle, and inside the circle it says Sunset Songs. The colors are pink and orange. Either the sunset is going to be pink or orange, or the songs is going to be pink or orange. The reason behind I picked the colors pink and orange is because those are a part of the colors of what I see as a perfect sunset. And obviously my channel is called Sunset Songs, but those colors are a part of a perfect sunset for me. I couldn't include purple and like a little bit of red, but those are the colors I picked. And basically the circle stands for the idea that the circle could be the sun or could also be the moon. And, when you have a sunset, you have the energy really of a sun and a moon. They've come together and they've basically kind of met up and they kissed each other, right? That's my idea. So that's what you're looking for. And when you click and you listen, you're going to hear me introduce myself, obviously, as Shadow Girl Sherry. So find me over there, Sunset Songs, Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry Shadow Closet, and Sherry Shadow Closet. These are the hashtags you can find me under, but my channel is called Sunset Songs. So anyhow, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed making this video and going live. I want to thank you guys so much for sharing this sacred space with me. And this is going to be Shadow Girl Sherry saying, well, I was going to say good night, but at the same time, Shadow Girl Sherry, that's an energy of light and darkness. And this is actually a new day, but it's still dark outside. But good night and good morning all at the same time, guys. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I can't wait to see. I can't wait. That's the name of the song that I was talking about, guys. I can't wait to see how many people join me tonight for this live. I cannot wait. And I'm going to find out here in just a second, guys. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you guys for watching and take care. Daggone it. Am I signing out? Do I know what I'm doing, guys? I am, guys, I'm wondering, oh Lord, what is going on here? See, this is my thing. At night, I always have a hard time shutting this down, figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, here we are. Oh, so see, now it's telling me it says in live, go live for 64 more minutes and you'll reach stage 13. Oh, y'all. Now, let me tell you guys. Now, I'm about to sign out right now, and TikTok is telling me right now, in the live, it says in the live, and it's had like a question mark, like asking me, girl, do you really want to end this live, or can you wait? Can you wait just a little bit longer? And that was a song, the Sunset Song, Can't Wait. Basically, TikTok is saying in the live, or can you wait a little bit longer? And I can't, guys. I can't wait any longer. I gotta turn this in because I don't live alone, and I gotta be respectful. And some of you guys might want to go to church in the morning. I don't know. But it says in the live, and it's got a question mark, and it's telling me that if I go live for 64 more minutes, I'll reach stage 13. And guys, this whole video, was about the number 13, Friday the 13th. So guys, it's another synchronicity. So we are manifesting here. Think positive thoughts, guys, and maybe go to bed and listen to a guided meditation, about, positive things, right? We're manifesting the best things in life. But this is Shadow Girl Sherry, and I know that I can reach that stage 13 another night. Soon, anytime I go live, I stay on for a while, so I'm not going to have a hard time reaching stage 13, but I can't I can't stay on any longer because I can't stay on 64 more minutes because I got to be respectful of everybody else in my house. And yeah, so this is going to be Shadow Girl Sherry signing out, guys. I got to end this live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see how many people join me for this live. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I'll come back and do that reach that stage 13 maybe tomorrow or the next night or something like that. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.